Drummers don't always get the love they deserve. Sure, everyone knows John Bonham, Neil Peart, and Keith Moon. But what about the ones who changed the game in the shadows? The drummers who redefined rock without getting their names plastered on every greatest of all time list? Well, today, we're giving them their long overdue credit. These 10 underrated drummers didn't just keep the beat, they changed rock music forever. Number 10, Moe Tucker. Most drummers want bigger kits, faster fills, and flashier solos, but Tucker was completely different. She stripped it all down to the bare essentials. No cymbals, barely any toms, and a standing playing position that looked more like a street musician than a rock star. And yet she revolutionized punk rock before punk even had a name. Her drumming with the Velvet Underground was pure raw energy, hypnotic, pounding, almost tribal. Listen to Heroin, or I'm Waiting for the Man. Her relentless, steady beats created tension like no other drummer could. You don't get the Ramones, Joy Division, the White Stripes, or basically half of alternative rock without Moe Tucker, proving that simplicity is sometimes the most powerful weapon. Tucker was great, don't get me wrong, but our next drummer took rock and flipped it on its head with some of the most unpredictable beats ever recorded. Number 9, Clive Bunker. Jethro Tull is known for flute solos, medieval folk vibes, and Ian Anderson running around like a madman. But what about the insane drumming that made their sound so unpredictable? That was all Clive Bunker. While most rock drummers in the late 60s were still imitating jazz players, Bunker was out here creating his own language behind the kit. His playing on albums like Stand Up and Aqualung is pure controlled chaos. Massive fills, jazz-inspired grooves, and off-kilter rhythms that kept Tull's music constantly shifting and surprising. Check out Nothing Is Easy. Bunker isn't just playing drums, he's attacking them. His playing is loose, raw, and completely unhinged, yet somehow always in control. He left the band early on, but his influence on progressive rock drumming was permanent. Without Clive Bunker, do we get the free-flowing madness of Bill Bruford? Or Neil Peart? Hard to say. Speaking of drummers who pushed rock into uncharted territory, the next guy, he was a literal machine behind the kit. Number 8, Larry Mullen Jr. Before U2 became one of the biggest bands on the planet, they were just a bunch of Irish teenagers trying to figure out how to play together. At the center of it all, Larry Mullen Jr. Most rock drummers are all about big, thunderous beats, but Mullen, he took inspiration from marching bands and military cadences, giving U2 a sound that felt urgent, propulsive, and completely unique. Listen to Sunday Bloody Sunday. That machine gun snare drum, that's Mullen's genius. It's not just keeping time, it's telling a story. And while the Edge's echoing guitar and Bono's anthemic vocals get all the attention, none of it works without Mullen's driving, disciplined drumming. He may not be the flashiest drummer out there, but his precision, restraint, and sense of space are why U2 sounds like, well, U2. Now from a master of control to a drummer who had no limits whatsoever. Number 7, Terry Bozzio. Some drummers play with their kit, but I guess it's safe to say that Terry Bozzio turns his drum kit into a weapon of mass destruction. This guy's setup isn't just big, it's a freaking fortress. We're talking dozens of drums, cymbals, gongs, and electronic pads, all arranged in a Frankenstein's monster of percussion, and he plays every single inch of it. As Frank Zappa's drummer, he tackled time signatures that barely make sense, blending jazz, rock, and sheer insanity into something that shouldn't work but absolutely does. Check out The Black Page. Zappa literally wrote it as a piece of music so complicated it would be almost impossible to play. Bozzio, he nailed it and made it look easy. And his work with Missing Persons? That's where he turned new wave drumming into an Olympic sport. Tracks like Walking in LA and Destination Unknown are rich with creative, offbeat rhythms that make his drumming just as important as the melodies. Number 6. Bill Ward. Heavy metal wouldn't exist without Black Sabbath, and Black Sabbath wouldn't be the same without Bill Ward beating the absolute hell out of his drum kit. While you expect drummers at the time to focus on safe and steady rhythms, Ward took a looser, jazz-inspired approach, making every song feel like it was teetering on the edge of chaos. Take War Pigs, that rolling, off-kilter intro, that's Ward setting up a song like a battlefield. Or Children of the Grave, his galloping beat practically invented thrash metal before thrash even existed. But Ward wasn't just about speed, he had swing. Listen to Fairies Wear Boots or Hand of Doom. His drumming isn't just powerful, it's unpredictable, shifting between brutal heaviness and eerie quiet without warning. Ward proved that metal drumming could be fluid, wild, and alive. Number 5. Ian Paice. Deep Purple had one of the greatest guitarists, one of the greatest keyboardists, and one of the greatest vocalists. So it's only fitting that they also had one of the greatest drummers of all time. And yet somehow Ian Paice never gets the credit he deserves. The man's hands were blistering fast before metal drumming was even a thing. While other rock drummers in the 70s were keeping it simple, Paice was unleashing rapid-fire rolls and high-speed fills like a jazz drummer who had fallen into a vat of pure adrenaline. Listen to Burn. His playing is so fast and precise, it's basically proto-thrash drumming, or Highway Star, where his double-kick drum work makes it feel like a train about to run off the tracks. And then there's the Mule. His drum solo on this track is one of the most furious, jaw-dropping displays of speed and control in rock history. Paice turned the beat into a weapon, and if Deep Purple had a secret weapon, it was him. But if you think that was revolutionary, wait until you see who's next. A drummer who redefined what rock and prog drumming could be. Number 4. Dominic Howard. Muse doesn't just write songs, they create cinematic rock epics that feel like they could trigger the apocalypse. And behind that massive world-ending sound was Dominic Howard. Howard was the band's secret weapon. While Matt Bellamy shreds guitar and wails like a rock opera frontman, Howard's drumming is what gives Muse their unstoppable momentum. Listen to Knights of Sidonia. It's basically a sci-fi western on steroids. And Howard's relentless galloping beat turns it into an all-out war. Or Stockholm Syndrome, where his pounding snare hits and thundering double-kick drumming makes the song feel like it's breaking apart at the seams. And let's not forget Uprising. His precise robotic groove is the engine driving one of Muse's biggest anthems. Howard's special power was that he could explode into chaos, or lock into a tight groove, depending on what the song needs. That's why Muse never sounds one-dimensional. Howard keeps everything shifting, building, and exploding at just the right moments. Number 3. John Densmore. Most rock drummers hit hard, but there was just something different about John Densmore. His jazz-influenced, unexpected style gave their music a hypnotic, unpredictable groove, turning songs into seances and concerts into full-blown spiritual experiences. Take Break On Through to the Other Side. That driving bossa nova beat, it's loose, fluid, but hits with just enough force to push the song forward like a freight train. Or L.A. Woman, where he shifts between tight, controlled ride cymbal work and a loose, swinging shuffle, making the whole track feel like a wild late-night car ride through the city. And then there's When the Music's Over. At over 10 minutes long, it's basically a drumming training in dynamics. Densmore rides the tension, letting the song breathe before slamming down like a thunderstorm when Morrison commands, "We want the world and we want it now." Unlike the bombastic drummers of his era, Densmore understands the power of restraint. He painted with the beats, letting space and silence be as important as the hits. That's what made the Doors' music feel alive, unpredictable, and dangerous. And while Jim Morrison got all the headlines, Densmore was the heartbeat of the band, a pulse that still echoes through rock history. Number 2. Bill Bruford. Bill Bruford is easily one of the most talented drummers the world has ever seen. And while he's probably one of the most respected drummers on our list, In the mainstream, he's often overshadowed. As the backbone of Yes and King Crimson, Bruford brought a phenomenal vibe to their songs. While most drummers locked into predictable rhythms, Bruford made drumming feel unpredictable, fluid, and downright otherworldly. Listen to Heart of the Sunrise by Yes. The opening, that snappy pattern, that's Bruford making sure you never feel too comfortable. Or Lark's Tongues and Aspic by King Crimson. That track is simply an experiment in controlled chaos. Bruford throws in jagged, stabbing rhythms that feel more like a conversation between instruments than a traditional drum part. And here's where opinions may differ. Some might call it crazy, but we call it admirable. Bruford walked away from Yes, right before they blew up commercially with Owner of a Lonely Heart. Why? Because he didn't want to play predictable, radio-friendly beats. Instead, he pushed boundaries, fusing rock, jazz, and electronic elements into something no one had ever heard before. His work in King Crimson UK and his own solo projects turned him into one of the most forward-thinking drummers of all time. And while Bruford elevated rock drumming to high art, the final drummer on our list, he was pure, primal power. And without him, rock music itself might sound completely different. Number 1. Michael Giles. Before rock drummers were experimenting with time signatures, before prog bands made their music sound like classical symphonies, there was Michael Giles, the drummer who started it all. Giles was a machine of precision and creativity. His work on King Crimson's debut album, In the Court of the Crimson King, laid the foundation for progressive rock drumming as we know it. Take 21st century Schizoid Man. The moment that blistering drum solo kicks in, that's Giles turning rock drumming into an explosion. The way he locks in and out of different time signatures without missing a beat, it was groundbreaking in 1969, and still mind-blowing today. But the real magic of Giles was in his fluidity. He made odd time signatures sound natural. He brought a jazz-like swing to even the heaviest moments, proving that rock drums could be alive, expressive, and constantly shifting. While King Crimson moved forward with Bruford after Giles left, his influence never faded. Even progressive rock drummers that came after him, from Neil Peart to Danny Carey, owes a debt to the original mastermind of prog drumming. Did we miss anyone? Please let us know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video and want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Rock history is full of hidden legends, and we're just getting started.